Sabrina.
And I'm Jasmine.
And we're from the class to check out.
From School Lab Malaysia Competition and Bukit, Bandaraya.
And today we are going to talk about antimatter and matter. There are four main states of matter, three of which we've actually already learned in school.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not, which is solid, liquid, and gas. The first one we're going to talk about is solid. Now, solid actually has the least amount of kinetic energy. That's because the particles are placed really, really close together and they really have nowhere else to go, so they kind of vibrate rigorously in its own position.
Wait, are you saying that there are tiny particles in every solid we see?
Pretty much. This book is an example of a solid, and this table is also an example of a solid.
Wow.
Next is liquid. Now, liquid is pretty interesting. It's personally my favorite. Liquid has more kinetic energy compared to solid.
Why?
Because the particles have more freedom. They're basically placed a little loosely together. Yeah. Examples of liquid is basically water, which we happen to use every single day. And next is gas. Now, gas is pretty interesting too. It has the most amount of kinetic energy among the two that I just said, which is solid and liquid, sorry. And it moves randomly and quickly in all different directions. Examples of gas is basically this balloon, which is filled with air, and the air all around us.
Interesting. Wait, but Sabrina, did you mention that there was a fourth state of matter?
Yes, there is actually, and we're going to get into that. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. And what is plasma, you might ask, right? Plasma is a hot ionic gas that only forms or happens when the electron separates from the atomic shell, and that gas actually gains an ionic charge.
That's fascinating.
Plasma actually has significantly different characteristics. That's why we kind of count it as a different state of matter.
Oh.
It's still a state of matter, don't get me wrong, but it's just different. For example, it's actually really considered or influenced by electric and magnetic fields.
Wow, that's so interesting. I never knew that much about matter. However, Sabrina, did you know that there was also a different type of matter?
You're kidding.
I'm not. There's another type of matter which is called antimatter. Antimatter I personally like more than matter. Sorry. Okay. Antimatter is basically a material composed of so-called antiparticles. It is believed that for every particle there is an antiparticle companion. That means that they are both virtually identical, but they both have different charges. For example, there's an electron which has a negative charge and a positron which has a positive charge. The thing about these two are they weigh the same and they have the same mass, but they have different charges. An electron has a negative charge while a positron has a positive charge. Unfortunately, whenever a particle and its antiparticle meet, they both destroy each other, they annihilate each other, and they end up disappearing in a burst of light, which is kind of pretty horrible.
I'm so bored.
However, there are some fun facts about antimatter. The first fun fact, Sabrina, is in that banana you're eating. That banana produces a positron every 75 minutes, just one. But don't worry, it's only a little radioactive, so you probably won't die.
So if I eat this, I'm not going to die?
Hopefully you will, but you probably won't. Moving on. Many people also don't realize this, but antimatter is actually used in medicine. It's used in PET scans or PET scans, which are actually called positron-emitron tomography, which is actually pretty fascinating. So these are used to produce high-resolution images, which make the doctors able to see the patient's body far more clearly and far more interesting. Okay. Which actually help medicine a lot. And last but not least, you actually may think it might be super easy to create antimatter because it's everywhere around us. Like,
It isn't?
It's not. It actually costs $100 billion to create one tiny milligram of antimatter.
You're kidding.
I am not. And that is the last antimatter fact. Thank you guys so much for listening.
We really respect your time. Thank you so much. And yeah,
That's it.